For more than 21 months, with little respite, Palestinians in Gaza have been trapped in an endless cycle of airstrikes and funerals.
What's good, fam? It's your boy Dub Sounds, and this is Dub on the Take. In a stunning turn of events, Hamas and Israel has agreed to a ceasefire. But will it last? Let's talk about it.
Tonight, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he's sending a delegation to Qatar Sunday for talks on a possible ceasefire deal. Hamas calls the latest response positive. This as Israeli strikes today killed at least 14 in Gaza and 10 other Palestinians were killed trying to get food. It is unclear how they died. CBS's Deborah Patta reports tonight from East Jerusalem.
Good evening, Jerika. There is a renewed momentum for a ceasefire in Gaza. Hamas has said it is ready to begin negotiating the details of the truce, and Israel is sending a delegation to Qatar for talks on a possible deal.
For more than 21 months, with little respite, Palestinians in Gaza have been trapped in an endless cycle of airstrikes and funerals. Since the last truce collapsed in March, another 6,000 people have been killed in Gaza. Saleh Abu Odeh has been displaced so many times, he's lost count. We pray there will be a ceasefire, regardless of the demands, he said. Just agree and let the people breathe. The acute humanitarian crisis has worsened, with daily mass killings of Palestinians shot while trying to get food, mostly near the US-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation aid sites, according to eyewitnesses we spoke to. And today, GHF says 2 American security contractors were injured in a grenade attack. The World Food Programme's Antoine Renard has just returned from Gaza and told us he's never seen such levels of desperation.
The closer you get to a ceasefire, the more tension there's on the ground. I sincerely hope that the ceasefire is actually around the corner.
He says they are ready to surge aid into Gaza as soon as they get the green light. In the streets of Tel Aviv, there is growing pressure not just for a deal, but for a permanent end to the war. Zahir Shaharmour's uncle died in captivity.
Man, this war's been going on for way too long, man. Way too many people have died, especially the children, man. Too many children have died in this conflict. And yeah, it's time for it to come to an end. It's crazy how they've gotten to this point in the first place. Man, there's a lot of hatred on both sides. This is a holy land. They call it the Holy Land, but it's definitely not a holy war. And boy, it's only getting worse. So hopefully this ceasefire will hold, and we're going to continue on to see what's more being said.
The government of Israel must do all it can to ensure the outlined deal is implemented this coming week.
It's understood the latest proposals include a 60-day ceasefire, Jerika, during which around 10 living hostages would be released in exchange for Palestinian prisoners.
Man, it's crazy where they holding hostages left and right, and actually they actually killing them. You know what I'm saying? Over there, the way they move on war differently, they hostages, they kill them so they don't have to negotiate. It's crazy, man. It's only getting worse, so we're going to keep going.
We're going to turn now to the Middle East, where hopes may be fading for a ceasefire deal. Israel rejecting the changes Hamas wants to make to a U.S.-backed deal. This, with the Israeli Prime Minister set to visit the White House. ABC's Inez de la Cuetara is in London with the latest now. Inez.
Good morning, Gio. Yeah, ceasefire negotiations facing a new setback, with the Israeli Prime Minister's office saying in a statement the changes Hamas is requesting to make are unacceptable to Israel. This comes after Hamas said it had submitted a positive response to a 60-day ceasefire proposal backed by the U.S. that would see the release of 10 living hostages and 18 hostage bodies in exchange for the release of a still undetermined number.
See what I'm saying? Bodies. 10 living hostages and 18 hostage bodies. I'm surprised there's even 10 living, man. This war is ridiculous. It's crazy how they do their hostages. They don't really like to negotiate. And you see Israel, Netanyahu is already, he ain't having it. So let's continue on.
Of Palestinian prisoners. But Hamas wants any ceasefire deal to lay out an end to the war, something that so far the Israelis have not budged on. Meanwhile, the violence continues. 2 Americans working with the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation were injured on Saturday when 2 grenades were thrown at an aid distribution site, according to the GHF. The workers are now in stable condition. The GHF has been tasked with managing aid distribution in Gaza. Their practices, though, have been widely criticized. According to the UN, more than 500 Palestinians have been killed over the last 4 weeks while on the way to collect food at GHF sites in Gaza. Now, this week, the Israelis are sending a team to Doha to continue ceasefire negotiations, while the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will be meeting with President Trump in Washington.
Ooh, wait. Yeah, man, it's only getting worse. It's only getting worse. So what we get ready to do, we get ready to go over to MSNBC and see what they got to say on it.
Tonight, the Israeli Prime Minister rejecting the changes Hamas has requested to the latest ceasefire proposal. This after a positive response by the militant group to the mediators. Despite the back and forth, talks are still set to continue just days after President Donald Trump said Israel had agreed to the necessary conditions to finalize a 60-day ceasefire.
There could be a Gaza deal next weekend.
Benjamin Netanyahu embarking on his 3rd trip to Washington this year. Among the likely sticking points, the fate of the controversial aid distribution agency, GHF, backed by both the U.S. and Israel. Today, it said that 2 of its American security workers had been wounded by a grenade. The assailants, it said, were Hamas. Asked by NBC News how it came to that conclusion, given the presence of other armed militants, GHF said the assessment was based on local intelligence that a Hamas attack was imminent. For the civilians in Gaza, the days are spent waiting for food with no guarantee they'll leave.
Y'all see how privileged we are in America? See how they dying over food over there? It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
The site alive. Health officials here say hundreds have been killed while trying to get aid. 45 miles north of Gaza might as well be another world. In Tel Aviv, a message from many Israelis.
So far, it's been proven that only President Trump is capable of making things move in a serious way.
They have more faith in the U.S. president than they do their own prime minister.
Let that sink in right there. And also make that make sense to me as well, because how is in a whole nother country, they got more faith in our president than these liberals and everybody that's leaning left in America. Make it make sense. This man is working to create peace. And we got all this turmoil in our own country, mad at him for what? I don't even think nobody even has a relevant fact to even say why they hate Trump. They just hate him due to the fact of what the news is posted in the past. Pay attention to what's really going on. Take your feelings out of it and look at the man work. They're even saying it in other countries. Backwards. This is backwards.
Danielle Hamamjian, NBC News.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live.
So yeah, man, make it make sense. I'm still waiting on it. Let me know in the comments how y'all feel about how they feeling over there in a whole nother country about Trump. They praising Trump a whole lot harder in a whole nother country than half of the Americans in America. Make it make sense. So I also did a little bit of research on how many deaths is going on in this war. So I want to show y'all this here. Let's make this make sense, man. Palestinians in Gaza. The latest report figures indicate at least 57,418 Palestinians killed in Gaza due to the Israel attacks, with a study from May 2025 suggested that actual death toll could be significantly higher, potentially ranging to 77,000 to 109,000. Come on, people. And Trump's actually out there fighting to stop this. Make it make sense. No, we just on the beginning. Gaza, 61,709 people killed, including 17,492 children. What the kids got to do with this? It is a pointless war. And it ain't making no sense at all due to the fact that look at all these kids. Why are all these kids dying in this war? Because they don't care. It's a whole bunch of hatred that isn't needed. And the number just goes on and on and on. 905 people killed, occupied West Bank, including 181 children. It's ridiculous, man. So let me know how y'all feel in the comments about this war. Do y'all think the ceasefire is going to hold up? Do you think Trump is going to come through? Do you think Netanyahu is going to back out? Or Hamas? Let me know how y'all feel in the comments.